Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and in today's video we'll be talking spring training. Blue Jays win their game today by a final score of 7-1 over the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'll talk about how they got to that score of 7-1, and I'll also meant to talk about and share my thoughts on how certain players have performed this spring training for the Blue Jays, and especially the new additions they picked up in the offseason. So we'll get to the game. In the second inning, that's where the scoring started. Anthony Alford picks up a sacrifice fly. Same thing with Danny Jansen. Blue Jays are up 2-0 early. Curtis Granderson steps up to the plate. He hits a 3-run home run. Blue Jays are up 5-0 early. They would kind of cruise on from here on there. In the eighth, Roman Feltz would pick up a 2 RBI single to make it 7-1, and that's how the game would end. So, and the winning pitcher for today's game is Biagini. He's the only pitcher that's picked up both of our wins so far this spring. He's been playing very well, in my opinion. I think he's destined to be the number 6 starter for the Blue Jays. He'll be the first guy called up. He's been working on stretching out his arm this spring. So I don't see the Blue Jays moving him back to the bullpen because that would really kind of affect his arm to going from a heavy workload where you're always throwing the ball, like probably about 50, 60 pitches a day to get really loose and throwing as hard as you can and getting into game shape, to cut down to a reliever. That might really be really bad for Biagini's health of his arm. So I think primarily this year he's going to stay as a starter. So he's looked good. I never thought he was much of a reliever. I mean, relievers don't really throw 5 different pitches. They mainly just stick with 2, maybe 3 max. So it never really understood why he was a reliever on the Blue Jays. I mean, when they picked him up from San Francisco out of the Rule 5 draft years ago, he was a starter in San Francisco. So he'll probably be our number 6 starter this year if any injuries happen at all to the rotation. Anthony Alford has looked pretty good this season so far in the early games. I know we're only 6 games in, but he's looked relatively well. He has the chance to legitimately crack the lineup. I think the outfield's kind of set in stone for us this year. It'll be Granderson in left, Pilar in center, and Grichuk in right. And they'll probably keep Carrera as the backup outfielder just because of his experience with the club, his experience at the MLB level. And primarily Carrera is pretty decent defensively in right field. So that kind of, I think, and plus I think they want Anthony Alford to really develop more. So I can see him starting the year in AAA. If he performs really well and really tears it up in AAA, I could see him being maybe a call-up in September, not September, probably in July. So I'm hoping he's not going to be a September call-up this year. For the newcomers, Granderson's looked nice. There's a lot of kind of mixed opinions on the Granderson signing. I personally liked it. I like a gamble, it's a 1-year, $5 million deal. If things don't work out, you could easily move him out to another team. I'm pretty sure some team will take him. And it's not like they have to pay him a ton of money. It's only $5 million. The argument was other fans were saying that they should bring back Jose Bautista. But the thing is with Bautista, if you bring him back and you use his option on his contract, you would have to pay him $18 million. Now I'm sure, you can get out of the option and then re-sign him to a whole nother new deal. But you think Batista's going to want to sign for $5 million? I don't think so. I think he still wants to get paid for what he's done overall in his career. He never got the chance to get paid while he was really good for the Blue Jays. So ideally, that's why he's still a free agent to today, and that's why the Blue Jays don't really want to bring him back, because they know he wouldn't take a hometown discount for $5 million. So I like the gamble on Granderson. Plus, he's probably our only natural left-handed bat in the lineup. I know Morales, Solarte, and Smoke can bat left-handed, but they're switch hitters. And a lot of switch hitters aren't really that great on the left side. Apparently, Solarte has a lot of power on the left side. Same thing with Morales. Apparently, they have more power than on the left than they do the right. But I like a natural left-handed bat like Granderson. He has a lot of power against right-handed hitters. That's primarily why they brought him in. I can see Granderson being a 20 home run, 60 kind of RBI season. Kind of what Jose Bautista did last year. I can see Granderson doing that this year, but for a way cheaper price for the Blue Jays. Diaz has looked really good. I still haven't seen anything impressive from Diaz offensively. Defensively, he looks amazing. He kind of reminds me of Ryan Goins. I'm hoping he's not just another Ryan Goins who's only really good defensively, but he's like pretty much an automatic out at the plate. So hopefully Diaz can step it up. I'm pretty sure Diaz is destined to start the year in AAA. Just like Anthony Alford, just like Joe Biagini. If Troy Tulowitzki's healthy, he's not starting over Tulowitzki. That's just it. I mean, they're paying Tulowitzki all this money. You gotta put him on the field. So I think Diaz he's destined to start in AAA. Solarte, kind of same thing. I don't know. I haven't seen much offensively from him. Defensively, he's been okay. He hasn't been that great. I mean, I think he primarily plays third base. The couple of games I've seen him in, he's been playing second. So I don't know, maybe if that's just a positional thing. But that's the reason why they got him, because he can play second, short, third, and a little bit of first. So that's why they got him, for his versatility. But so far at second base, defensively, he's just looked very average to me. Offensively, I haven't seen him do anything. I don't even think he has a hit this spring at all. I know the first couple games, I think he went like over 3, over 2. So I haven't seen anything offensively from Solarte to really kind of make a judgment on what I've seen from him, because he hasn't done anything. Osuna looked relatively good. He got into the action in today's game. He looked like his old self. He looked pretty good today. Sanchez, it wasn't in yesterday's game, but 2 games ago, Sanchez, I know it was only an inning of work, but they asked Russell Martin after the game, what did you think of Sanchez's stuff? He said it looked like the old Sanchez, so that's good news. He didn't see any kind of issues with him throwing the ball at all. And Sanchez has been saying he's been feeling good, so that's really good to hear as a Blue Jays fan. Cross our fingers he can stay healthy this year for the whole entire season. No blister issues, no nothing. Because we really do need him to stay healthy. If he can return to his Cy Young form like he did back in 2016, I think we're guaranteed a playoff team. I don't think we're going to be good enough to win the division. I think the division is going to be won by the Yankees or the Red Sox, but we'll definitely be one of the 2 wild card teams this year. I think we project to be the second wild card at an 86-76 record this year, and slightly better than the Los Angeles Angels. So that's really good. So that's pretty much my opinion of what I've seen so far from the newcomers and some of the key guys that we want to see do really well. And again, good to see the Blue Jays win this game 7-1, even though spring training games, they don't really matter. You're just really mainly just watching to see how guys perform that are kind of fighting for roster spots to make the big club. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.